Hold on.
Music is still on.
Your
Hello,
mic is
everyone.
muted. Your
What?
mic is muted.
No, not really.
Hello? Your mic is
Hello?
muted.
No, it's not.
What the hell?
It's not muted. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello, 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 hello. Can you shut off the music? Hello? Hello, 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 hello. What's going on?
I don't know. Should be on you. Oh no! I hear all this music.
The music gotta go. Yes. It's lovely. Just
We're
gotta go.
sorry, people. Okay. I apologize.
Girl, when you're one person handling everything at one time, it's gonna have a problem. Bendición to all, love, light, and longevity, and overall health. Love, light, and health. It's very important. Well, happy Monday, and welcome to Coffee with Ori. I am your host, Ori. I hope everyone is doing fine. I haven't seen anyone pop up. Hi, Sadia. I can hear you and the music. Can you hear me now without the music? Please say yes or no, please, so that at least I know that there's no music, because I can't hear music.
It's off.
Okay.
And I'm about to disappear. Adios.
Okay, bye. Okay, today's show, guys, we're going to be talking about war. I know that's a topic that sometimes we don't want to talk about, but it's a topic that we need to talk about, and we need to understand that what prompts war is not just one type of war, which is wars between countries, because there's so much negativity going on in the world right now that there is so many different types of wars going on. There's emotional wars that we deal with within ourselves, which is wars between our own brains and the capacity of our knowledge and our understanding, like the capacity of learning or being intelligent to the capacity of what we know spiritually can become a war. Spiritual wars are created all the time. At this particular moment, we have a lot of born again Christians that are trying to knock people down. And if you don't believe in Jesus, then automatically you are a heathen and you are a pagan. And, if you are a woman and you get pregnant and you want to abort, then that's another war going on too. And it's also another Christian war, which it doesn't make any sense. Okay. The homosexual war, it's always been around, but like this senator said, this Chinese senator said on the floor the other day, which was, what did Jesus really have to say about anything? Hey, Lance, how are you? What did Jesus have to say about homosexuals, or even, whores or anything? What did Jesus have to say? And he was quiet for a while, and then he said exactly nothing. Jesus had nothing to say about these subjects, only people do. So at the end of the day, in scriptures, we know that people have written the Bible. Now, a lot of them claim to be guided by Jesus. I mean, by God, not Jesus, by God. And of course, a lot of them say Jesus, Jesus is God. God is not Jesus. Jesus is not God. People need to get their shit together and understand that the Trinity is there for a reason. The Holy Spirit is not Jesus, and God and Jesus is not God. There are three different types of entities, and they're all different. Now, the Old Testament, if we're going to go about war, the Old Testament, God was always warring with somebody. God chose a person, or the person believed, like Moses. The Quran believes that not Moses, that Noah was a crybaby, because God didn't tell him to get people to follow him. God said, teach them that there is something coming on. But Noah didn't ask anybody. Noah was egocentric. He didn't ask people for help. He just started to do it by himself, and people, as I said, people were laughing at him. But in reality, who was laughing at him? I mean, the world is filled with laughter, but if it's a sunny day and it's a sunny day every day, and you're saying it's going to rain and it doesn't rain, people are going to wonder, and people, they're going to make fun. But maybe I would say you need to learn to acclimate yourself with the people, with your neighbors, and let them know, look, the voice of the higher power spoke to me, and this is what they said. And he should have asked for help, but he didn't. So at the end of the day, if people don't believe that Noah's family were not resentful, then Noah's grandson would never have raped them. And yes, Noah's God's grandson raped them, because God didn't want him to have alcohol, whatever, and he planted grapes and they made wine, and he got drunk, and his grandson raped him. And that is in the book of Enoch, for those who don't understand that. So there's a lot of truth to things, and there's a lot of things that people make up. The Ethiopian Bible tells you that in the original scriptures, when they changed everything over, it didn't say God created Adam and Eve. It said the gods, plural, the gods created Adam and Eve. And it wasn't Adam and Eve, it was Adam and Lilith. Okay, and again, another crybaby complaining to God. So what happens? The woman gets the short end of the stick, and she gets banished into the Red Sea, and she became the mother of demons. Just like Khaleesi, the mother of dragons, by the way. So anyway, that's one war that's going on. Oh, and by the way, an update on what I'm talking about. The Vatican just endorsed this church so they can start working on exorcism. So for an institution that talked about that there was no such thing as exorcism, that they didn't have part of it, or they didn't do anything, now they added, or they're creating an order that is just for exorcism. And my thing is, if you want to exorcise a demon, the first thing you have to do is you need to get rid of that demon that's underneath the Vatican, because there is a demon under the Vatican, and it's not the hearsay. And I'm not saying something that I read, no, this is something that my own spirit has taken me there and has shown me exactly what it is and where it is. And I think that it's a contradiction for you to have such not just a fallen angel, but also to have all these rituals and things that you call pagan, within parentheses, that you call paganism, and these tools that could have been maybe alien technology, and they're all sitting there, and you have all of these things that are so dangerous, and yet you're judging, and you're criticizing, and and you're doing all these things. But the war is real, because, like I made comments the other day, just like in the movie The Seventh Sign, the guff was empty, so they needed a child, and her child was supposed to be the sacrifice, but eventually it was not, because when the guy kept saying, "Would you die for him?" that was the devil. Not necessarily Lucifer, but it was the devil saying, "Would you die for him?" And when she said yes, everything changed. And at the end of the day, the guff was full. But you know what? Right now, hell is not full. And that's the big mistake that people are making, that, oh, well, you're going to go to hell. First of all, what more hell than what we're living at this particular moment can there be? Every time you turn around, there's not enough money in your pocket to buy food, but yet there's enough money for the government to send money out, to send these people and give them bonuses to fight for this country, because you have to give them an incentive, because these people don't want to fight for this country. Not for nothing, but this is not the greatest country anymore. And at the end of the day, it's just a country that's very egocentric. And it's sad to say that, but it's reality. I know that I have lived in fear my whole life living in this country. I don't know what the fear is or was, but now that I'm older, I realize that everything that you work hard for can be taken away from you in 1 second here. And they have no remorse, and they have no sympathy. And the laws just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And it is okay for cops to beat on people and get away with things, and steal from drug dealers, and pretend. There's so many crooked cops in this world, it's not even funny. There are even more crooked congressmen and politicians in this world, that and people in power that are so crooked. And there are a lot of things going on, but you people still don't understand that we are in the middle of not a pandemic war. We're in the middle of a war. All these pandemics keep growing only because they're hiding something. So you people really need to understand that in order for you to be in tune, you have to be in tune with you first, because you come first. After God, you come first. And God is, to me, is the universe. God is an overall universe, the whole universe. Everything from the trees to the birds to the sky to the rain to the dirt. That's all God. That's the presence of God everywhere. And because we are children of the most highest God, we have to understand that there is something going on, and the churches know it, and it's political, and it's religious. I find it to be hysterical how the the I had a friend of mine call me the other day from Israel, and I had a friend of mine call me from Bangladesh, and he's a Sufi, and the other one is practicing Kabbalah, and he was saying how being homosexual is sinful, and I understand what you're trying to say, but I want you guys to understand one thing. But yet, Muslims, not all Muslims. Let me repeat that. Not all Muslims, but when you have the Arab nation, or a lot of Arabs that stick together, and they only play with their wives when they want to have babies, just like Jews. And then you have these Arabs that have these little boys since they're little, and they make them dance, and they call them dancing boys, and they rape them, and they do all kinds of things to them. But then when they get older, they take them, and that's why there's a lot of transsexuals in Dubai. There's a lot of transsexuals in the Arab country because at the end of the day, a lot of them get breasts done, and these people pay for it because, you know, a woman will give you birth, but a man will give you pleasure. Now, what I'm saying is, why do you think that it is so simple for a man to become a woman than it is for a woman to become a man? You have to figure that out. It's the whole thing, like which came first, the chicken or the egg. So I just think that there are wars among family. Family are going to have to make peace with one another or let go and move forward, because that can become very toxic. Sisters sleeping with other sisters' man, and vice versa. Men sleeping with brothers' wives or girlfriends. There are ugly wars that are going on in the world right now, but the most ugliest is the war of hunger. The war that these countries are going through right now, even this country, where everything is so expensive, where people are going to have to learn to go back to the basics, like in the olden days, where there were more vegetables than meat on the plate. And if there was no meat, then there was vegetable. Me personally, I can eat rice, beans, I can eat grains. I have no problems going back to becoming a vegan. Um, so I know what to substitute for meat, and I don't have a problem with those things. I just think that people need to start smartening up. People who have properties need to start creating greenhouses in their backyards and make sure that they take care of it and grow vegetables, and you know what? And if you live in a neighborhood where everybody's doing it, part of the key is to share with your neighbors, because what we're forgetting is that I go to Cuba, and people may think, oh well, he's going to Cuba spending money because he's doing this, he's doing that. No, what you don't realize is I go to Cuba and I spend money, but I buy tons of food and I take it there to the people that I care about, the people that are around me. I feed them because that is what you do. And I'm not saying I buy great things, but instant mashed potatoes and spam and all kinds of stuff that I can buy, I buy because people are in need. And when you have a little bit to give, what you can do is share. And if you have a family, that's what you all should do. You should all go grocery shopping and you buy in abundance and then put everything in one pile and then you share. You know, this will go in this bag, this will go in this bag, this goes to mommy, this goes to my brother, this goes to my sister, and vice versa. Everybody working together, you'll never have an empty refrigerator. So the war of hunger can stop. Okay? You have the war of spirituality, which is bigger, and which religion is better. Is my spiritual religion better? If is Santeria better than Ifa, or is Ifa better than Santeria, or is Voodoo much more better than this? At the end of the day, there's so much happening that we are intertwining in so much bullshit, because that's the only thing you can call it, is bullshit. You know, before, you know, scripture says that the world will end. The world never ends, people end. This planet is being overwhelmed and people are still building on it, knowing that there's so many properties everywhere that can be converted into low income homes, or they can be converted into, you know, you can get a brick building that's been up for 100 years that people don't live there, and the foundation is strong, and you can take that building and you can create it and make it bigger. It's like Queen Latifah, what she did in Jersey City. You know, it's like this factory, whatever. She created low income. Well, it's not even low income housing. It's not even that. But it's like a section in Jersey City where there's these houses, and I got the pleasure of seeing it. There used to be old factories, and they have these big, gigantic wooden doors. And you know, once you walk into those doors, you know, you're like in the middle of the factory, but these factories are like lofts. So why can't you do that? Why can't people do that? You know, you can take an old house and redo it. I mean, why do you got to tear everything down? If you're going to tear something down, at least try to build and help these communities in Los Angeles that have built small homes for people. It's like, learn from that. Learn that, we are here together and we are here to help one another. But I don't think we have yet embraced the concept of helping one another, because we're so busy judging and we're so busy trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong and what we did right and what we did wrong, that we continue to repeat the same shit over and over and over again. And one of the things you need to understand is that this whole thing that the world is going to end, whatever. I mean, how many times have people died and the world, continues? I mean, like, if you look at Iran and Iraq and Egypt and all the places, and even Africa, they were taught, they believed that there were only like a couple of thousands of years, so there was just like one I want to say one type of person living, and then now that everything is drying out and the winds are blowing heavy, they're starting to uncover. Well, so far they found 7. So there were 7 different types of people or generations of people that stem back for thousands of years. But I don't believe there's 7. I believe there is more than that. And I believe that once you hit that once the earth starts to hit that pivotal moment where everything starts to get uncovered, then is when everything is going to start. Right now, it is time for war, all kinds of war. And if we don't stand up to the churches and we don't stand up for the women's rights, we're going to go back in time and we're going to lose so much. And it's not even funny. There are countries that, although they have different types of religions, they don't have a problem with homosexuals and they don't have a problem with abortion. This country always makes excuses every time they're about to do something tragic, or every time they're going to cause something tragic. They always make excuses. And if you really, really understand history, you understand that the Indians were not the ones who scalped. It was the Europeans that actually were the ones that started to scalp because there were sick people. And then they would, pass rumors that this tribe did this, and that's how they would demolish these tribes. And the Catholic Church was along with it. So at the end of the day, anything to me that was done in the name of Jesus to destroy anything or anyone, it doesn't flow right with me. It doesn't feel right with me. And I just have and don't want no part of that. Because any institution that can destroy a whole race of people just for their own benefit and live as if this country belongs to them, when in reality this country does not belong to them. It doesn't belong to them. It never belonged to them. And you got the Queen Mother sitting there looking all pretty, and she's ancient like a dinosaur, is always complaining. But yet, how many countries did the monarchy destroy? How many countries did they go into and steal their minerals and their diamonds and stuff? I said, look at it. India, they went there demanding shit. Australia, they went there demanding shit. Africa had the most damage of all. But wherever they can stretch their hand, they went, because they believe that they had the power to own these things because they belong to them. And I don't understand where they come with this whole shit with ownership, because we don't own shit in this country. This country, no matter if you buy a house here, this is not your house. The government can easily come into your home and take your home, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I just want you to understand that, you know, as long as there are people who believe that we are the ultimate powerhouse, you really need to sit down and you really need to acknowledge the fact that we are bullies. More than anything else, we are bullies. And we go to many countries to bully them, and that is why we're not liked in many countries. So, and understanding makes us more powerful. You know, there was a time where women would go out there and march. You know, if I saw 200 women in the White House, you know, walking for abortion, that was a lot, and that's sad because I remember when there were people would go out and march thousands at a time to help one another. It's not there anymore because abortion is that dirty little secret, especially for these people who have their what do you call that, their who are left with all this money. They don't want to be you know, seen in an abortion clinic. So they go to their private doctors to do things. You know what I'm saying? So these are trust fund babies, and they get along. They get out of shit by using their money, and they use money like nothing. And this government allows it. They know it, but they allow it. You know, this whole gun thing that's going on, how a child walked into a store, and that was on Facebook. He walked into a store to get a dirty magazine, and they wouldn't sell him one. He went in to get cigarettes, and they wouldn't sell him none. He went to get alcohol, they didn't sell him none. But he went into a place and bought a rifle, and he was what, 15 years old, bought a rifle and walked out with it. So my thing is, what do you see that's not wrong about this? Because all of it is wrong. All of this shit is wrong, and we're you know, we're allowing ourselves to be bamboozled by hearing these people with money and in power saying that, you know, we need to carry guns to protect ourselves. Yeah, you're protecting yourself from your own people, from your own kind, because your people are the ones that are doing most of the killing, and they're then making up lies. Yeah, blacks and Hispanics have always dueled with each other, which is racial wars among each other. It's not about this one doesn't like black people, so he's going to shoot. No, growing up, Hispanics and blacks always stuck together. Dominicans, you know, it didn't matter what race you are, but now you have different wars because they're doing exactly what they wanted to do, put people against each other, and they're doing it. And the more you listen to the bullshit, the more you're going to feed into it, and the more you're going to believe. I have no problems with anyone. I have no problems going anywhere. When people say something to me that's out of place, I check them right away. Boom. I don't argue with them. I just check them, and I let them know that I choose to ignore the ignorance of the ignorant, and because they're ignorant, I have no time for the stupidity, because the stupidity is becoming so overwhelming that it's becoming more. Oh, you please call it corporate of the United States. Yeah, corporations. But I also want you to understand one thing. I want you to understand that the UN, that is a conglomerate within itself, it's considered being a country within itself, the UN. They're so corrupted too. They're corrupted too, and they're supposed to be helping. It's supposed to be a conglomeration of all countries helping one another, but they don't, because they come here with diplomatic immunity, and they'll go and they'll steal and they'll kill someone, and you know what? They can't go to jail because they have diplomatic immunity. That to me is bullshit. You come into this country and you commit a war, you commit an act of whatever, then you know what? You need to be taken care of. Not for nothing, but you know what? With the Arab nation, they got upset with this gentleman who was a reporter or whatever. But you know what? If you know how the Arab nation is, and that's your people, and you know how they are, and you're going to talk shit about them, you know that you should not be going to the Arab nation. That's a no-no. I'm not going to sit here, as much as I love Cuba, I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about Cuba and then visit Cuba and expect them to treat me with respect. I'm not going to do that, because that's not cute. I can only talk about the country that I live in. And I can tell you that we are, well, not we, but the European ancestors that came here, first of all, a lot of them were trash. So I can't expect them to be any other way when you already have trash coming into this country. You know, everybody is so busy looking at what do you call this, the royal family, and looking at the redhead and his wife, her because she's of color, and him because what's going on. Guys, give it a fucking break. She's the Queen of England, but she's the monarchy. Do you not understand that the money that they live off is your money? You guys, I don't think you guys you don't even get it. They don't have money of their own. The money that they have belongs to the people, and it belongs to Europe. So they live for free, and they do all these things, and there's all these laws, and you have to look pretty, and you have to be prestigious, and you have to show face. For what? We're not living in the 1700s, and we're not living in the 1600s. Well, the Queen of England, no, that was not created by the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers were created here. And the Rockefellers came here with a mindset. But you know what? They were smart. We have to give it to the Rockefellers, because the Rockefellers were the ones who created, after the falling and what we were going through, depression. The Rockefellers created Social Security. And the Social Security and the IRS, for people who don't really know, was never supposed to be something where it is something that you have to pay. No, and there are laws. But technically, you didn't have to pay that. Technically, that was if you wanted to volunteer and you help poverty, then you donate from your check. But it was not mandatory. It wasn't supposed to be mandatory, and it's not mandatory. And there are many laws that we are not even privy to, because we don't take the time to understand it, that this country has been founded on. And there's so many laws that don't exist, that this country they use now as if it was on the Constitution, and it was not in the Constitution. So people really need to understand and read the Constitution really well to understand what's going on and the amendments, and know what it is and know what the laws are, because there's so many things that are happening, and people need to open their eyes about a lot of things. I live in the state where this gentleman, DeSantis, he may be doing a lot of things, but the worst thing he just did was try to create a war with Disney. You don't want to fight with Disney. Disney got all the money. Disney, like Cardi B said, Disney makes money moves. Disney owns so much property here in Florida that if Disney decided to close down, there will be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people without jobs. So DeSantis needs to either get off that chair now and give it to somebody else that can do something for this and change the damn problems with the rent. The idea of the fact that we don't have a say-so in rent, and these people can raise your rent however they want, it's ridiculous. And no other state does it. So the fact that they can do it, it just shows the amount of ignorance that people have allowed themselves to become ignorant along the years by allowing the government to do whatever they want to do. And you feel that the only vote that you need to do is the presidential vote. And without that, if you don't vote for that, you have nothing. No, you can still vote for your governor. You can vote for your mayor. You can vote for whoever. You can vote for sheriff. you have to really do the homework and actually start realizing and understanding that we, the people, are the ones who put them there. But if we have no voice, we don't put them anywhere. They put themselves. They don't need us to vote for them anymore. They can vote for themselves, and their vote, their final vote, is word. So at the end of the day, these wars that are happening, and we can't, we talk about all these wars, but we're also having, no, we're not having a galactic war, because I don't believe that we are. But Trump is very good for running his mouth. And he made it very clear one day in one of his speeches, if we only knew how much alien technology we really had, because we're preparing for a galactic war. Why are you preparing for a war in outer space? You came here, you took over this country, and now you want to go into the heavens, and you want to create a war there too. Why? So that you can take ownership of it? You don't own it. You don't own the heavens. And the only thing that I say is, I hope that if you try to create a war out there with these aliens, that they whoop your ass. That they come down here and whoop our ass to show us that we don't have power like we think we have power. Because we don't have power. We only have the power of suggestion. And we have the power of bullying. Because that's what we do have. It's the power of suggestion to suggest things, but in a bullying way. That's what we have. That's what makes this country great. And because we're always defending somebody. But what I don't understand is, if we're defending a country, why are we always paying them? Like, why do we pay so much money for all these other countries? I don't get that. It's like, we give millions and millions of dollars to these countries and billions of dollars to these countries, especially Israel. For what? For what? What are you giving Israel money for? Israel seems to want to be a superior country of its own. They want to be superior, and they think that because they change their money back to the shekel, and you have all these white Jews that leave this country and they go there, and they take all this American money, they take it there, they live well, but yet they hire Ethiopians, real Jews. They hire Ethiopians to come work in their homes, and then they beat them, and they don't feed them, and they do all kinds of shit to them because they feel that the money that they have makes them better. Well, guess what? You haven't learned the lesson. The lessons, and you talk about how you were in bondage and you're always crying. I don't care if people think that's anti-Semitic. I don't really give a shit, because that's not who I am. That's not my religion. Those are not my people, and I don't really care. But I will tell you one thing. Stop fucking crying. You always talk about the blacks, how the blacks are crying. Well, you know what? They were enslaved, and yeah, you people were enslaved for thousands of years. But your people have been enslaved by your own people. Your own people have enslaved your own people. And even though time has passed by, you haven't learned the lesson of not being greedy, because you feel that you deserve everything. Like you're entitled to everything, and you're not entitled to everything. And you can't say you're waiting for the Messiah. The Messiah is going to go there, because technically in Kabbalah, they tell you they're not waiting for a Messiah. They're waiting for a king to come. Okay? The king could be the devil. But they're waiting for a king to bring riches to them, to make them all equal. Even if that king came, those people who have money, you're not going to want to be equal with your poor people. You don't. Because even when the Holocaust were happening, your people called yourselves roaches. The poor people were called roaches. And it's not like, and I said it once and I'll say it again, it's not like a lot of the people in the Holocaust, they had money, did not know that was happening. A lot of Jews escaped the Holocaust way before it happened, and they all came to New York and changed their name before the Holocaust began. Why? Because they did not want to be a part of that. But they knew that it was coming. They could have helped, but no. Why would they help the roaches? They were living in ghettos. Why help the roaches? But now they cry about all the things that have happened. And I get it, but you know what? You've been in bondage for thousands of years, because you know what? Because your greed keeps you in bondage. So you can keep reading the Torah, because the Torah is exactly the same as the Quran, which I read. But except the Torah doesn't say that Noah was a crybaby or that he was an abuser. but yet the Quran does. And both books are accurate. So people, you need to get it together. You really need to get it together. And for my brothers and sisters here that are spiritual, you need to choose a side. And it's not a side between God and Christ. It's a side between who you are and who you want to be. And you can only choose that side when you are ready to admit that you are a child of the most highest God and that you too are God. And once you come to that realization that we are gods in our own right, just like Jesus said, just like John said, just like Paul said, just like Simeon said, do you not know that we are gods within our own right? Yes, we are. We have the power to heal because God has instilled in us 7 gifts. Some of us have 3, some of us have 4, some of us have just 1. But whatever gifts we are given, they're given for a reason. You can't be in church and criticize prophets outside the church because you feel that your prophet's jumping up and down and saying blah, 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 that they're doing something or they're saying something. To me, you ain't saying shit. And if the spirit knocks you down on the floor, then it's not of light, because God's angels or God's spirit, angels and guides will never, ever throw you on the floor to embarrass you. And those people that touch your forehead and you fall on the floor pretending that you were anointed with something, maybe it's called Shakti. And that Shakti is a form of chi. And the chi is the power we have within inside us. And some people can develop it, and some people cannot. Well, that is enough about my jibber jabber. I'm going to turn on this meditation. I want you to listen to it. And I also want you to understand that this is about healing, but this is also about cleaning aura. So some of you may fall asleep, but release all the negativity, okay? I want you to take a deep breath for me, and I want you to hold it. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to hold it. And when I tell you to let go, just hold it, because you're not gonna suffocate. Hold it. Now release it slowly. Keep your eyes closed, and I want you to listen to this meditation. And everything that you feel that you're going through or that you've gone through, I want you to sit quietly and I want you to release it. But I also want you, as you release the negativity, also start telling yourself, your mind, your inner child, what it is that you are setting yourself up for. I'm setting myself up to receive what I'm supposed to receive in abundance. I am living in gratitude for the house that I'm about to have. I'm living in gratitude for the amount of abundance that is coming my way. I am living in gratitude for the people, places, and things that I have eliminated out of my life, for the places that I choose and I will go to, because I will be guided by the higher force of God to take me there. And you bring in whatever negativity, and then you release with positive affirmation in your mind. You don't have to say it out loud. But when you have a moment, guys, I want you to do is I want you to, in one piece of paper, I want you to write all the things that have caused you pain. You don't have to go into detail, just simple things. My mother, my father, my sibling, my cousin, my uncle, my this, my that, my jobs, and write them down and then burn them. And at the same time, I want you to take another piece of paper and I want you to write all the things that you are going to manifest. And then you take the paper and you fold it like you're folding the flag. And then until you make it into a pyramid, you close it, you keep folding it until it becomes a pyramid, and then put it in your wallet or in your purse, and you keep it there. And every time there's something manifest, you cross it off. Take a deep breath, guys. Deep. Hold it. Hold it. Release. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Hold it. Release. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Release. Release your pain. Release your sorrows. Release your sadness. Release the treachery that people have done to you. Release the gossip that people have talked about you. Release the toxic energy of people that you socialized with. Let go and release all of that. Because all of that stuff does not matter. Now envision a world where you have your own home and it's exactly how you envisioned it to be. And you have property. And you have all these great things happening around you. Take a deep breath and enjoy it. Because it is about you. It's not about anybody else. It's about you. And all the great things that you can do. Anybody who falls asleep, it's a good thing because meditation, even if you fall asleep, it will continue to work. The vibrations work. And if you're sleeping peacefully, it's because that's what it was meant to do. Listen to the beautiful sound of this melody. Okay, guys. Take a deep breath and relax. Shake it off. We have 2 more minutes and we're gonna go to commercial. I'm leaving. Dr. D, I will talk to you tomorrow because I have to go to sleep early to get to the doctor early in the morning. So you guys hold on 1 second before well, guys, I send you light and love always. May my prayers reach you all because I wish nothing but happiness and joy for you all. And those who are not trying to hear things, well, you know what? You need to get off your ass and you need to do something so that you can generate and you can heal. You have a nice night. Sadi, I think I sent you the meditation. Eddie, let me see, Eddie, if I got, hold on a second, I want to make sure. Eddie, you have yourself a good night, peace and love, light and love, and all those great things that come. I leave you now with commercial and then I'm off.
Intuitive Life Coach, Ori. Intuitive Life Coach, Ori. Book appointment today. Author, Cherry Blossoms by the Inner Universe and Guided Meditation. You can make an appointment at 862-202-9357. Be sure to tune in to Food Alchemy Network on Mondays with Coffee with Ori.